Hey guys, and welcome back to Sonic Chronicles. We're still on the egg hunt. We're actually in the middle of Chapter 3 right now, because Flame was kind enough to split them up into separate things, instead of shoving like an hour-long part on us, which I really appreciate, because I can do these separately. Doing them all at once is a bit much.
You mean that thing that I totally would have done if you hadn't asked me to split them up, that thing?
Yeah, totally. You were saying this is a side quest sort of part?
Yes, we've got two main side questy things that we're going to be doing in Green Hill here, and this is the first one of Big is telling us that Froggy, one of his friends, has gone missing. So we're gonna interrupt our hunt for, the known criminal who might be up to something and just go look for some frogs.
Well, I can't really think of a better way to spend my time. Is Big actually coming with us?
I can't remember if I took him. I don't think so.
Whatever. There's no time, Big. I'm sorry. The world is at stake.
Yeah, like Big, maybe we should do some actual stuff. The frogs will look after themselves. They're known to do this.
What do you want, Knuckles? Yeah, we have to find Eggman, and also my island, which I live on.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It falls down so often now, the people it lands on are used to it. Because, it landed in, just in the water in Adventure 1. In this game, it does actually land on a fucking city, so, wow. Everyone's fucked there.
Oh yeah, I remember that chapter, actually. Some of the worst, sound design in the entire game, so look forward to that.
Yes, beautiful. I can't actually be mad at the sound design in this, though. It's just so terrible in, every way possible that, it's endearing to me. And I know that's completely, a bullshit out, but that's how I legitimately feel about it.
I can understand where you're coming from, at least. That looks like an iguana.
It looks like anything but a fucking frog, but no, he's getting the frogs confused. And the way this mission works is, I think there's 4 frogs around Green Hill. It'll always be the last one you find.
Oh, fuck that. So you can't sequence break it?
No, you have to find all 4 of them. And we will be going to some places I haven't been yet to find these other frogs. And God, some of these hills all look the fucking same. Maybe it's because they're all green. Maybe that's why it's called this, but
I suppose, yeah. So Richie, how are you holding up with Chronicles so far, mate?
I am currently just getting really bored again by this game. This is one of the things with Chronicles, is that at times it just feels very nothingy in terms of what it's doing, and yeah, my brain has currently sort of switched off a little bit, because it's just yep, we're doing a thing that's not really very interesting at all, and could we be doing something better? I would actually quite enjoy reading more Pride and Prejudice at the minute. It's what I'm reading, and I would quite like to get back to the Miss Bennets, because they're delightful.
Do you mean the Mr. Billywicks, the frogs on screen right now? Because don't forget, you are doing a Let's Play. Even I, looking at Twitter, still understand this role we must perform.
Well, you see, I don't know really. It's been so long since we started doing this Let's Play playthrough thingamajiggy that I don't really know what I'm doing anymore.
It's only a couple of hours. Don't feign dementia on me, alright?
But to actually talk about something relative to the game, you're saying it's getting a bit boring and whatnot, bear in mind I am doing optional side quests here. It is entirely possible to play this game and skip all the crap here and just play through the story, and if you do that, then it does keep the pace up decently. There are sections going around looking for the different signals that we were doing a little while ago that maybe do get a bit repetitive, but on the whole I think it does pace itself quite nicely, and it is quite a short RPG on the whole as well. My entire run of this, bear in mind that I have edited out a few battles here and there, but it is under 10 hours, and if you're just doing a straight playthrough, it's probably in the 10 to 11 kind of area, I guess.
Yeah, and again, this all goes back to it being like an entry-level RPG, and I think that's fine for this sort of game, honestly. It will feel longer than it actually is, and maybe that's a selling point in some weird bizarro dimension, but Richie, don't forget that, yes, well, I'm not going to sit here and say it's an exciting game. We are recording 6 of these back-to-back, so take that into account when doing your Let's Play responsibilities, young man.
You see, that is true. But also, I'm partially here against my will for this one, because I was just like, why are we doing this, for the love of God?
It's fine. When we're done with the session, Tom will take the cuffs off. Don't worry, Rich.
The guns will be put down. I'm actually working. This playthrough is brought to you on behalf of GUN, the Something United Nations, working to make a better world for you.
You don't have to come up with propaganda. Everyone knows they're corrupt.
Huh. This must be one of the... Dr. Madden? Really?
Yes. That was the guy we were talking to a minute or so ago with the broken glasses. But yes, there's also these things that we've got to find around Green Hill. Every time you activate one, you've got to come... fight these bird things. It's the same battle each time, roughly, but you know, it's a side quest.
I just love the fact, one, real-ass bird, not like a robot or anything, and it brought bees with it. The bees are in league with the birds. This is what they meant.
Yeah. Also, I love that it's called a raptor bird, because it just makes me think like it's some sort of actual flying velociraptor that's become a proper bird, which just seems hilarious.
Try harder, Richie. You gotta try harder with your comparisons, mate.
So I really don't get how you're saying this is like burning you out after 6 parts or whatever, because like I'm just looking at this and like these worlds, they're colourful and they're interesting enough to me. Like I'm not feeling it at all.
Yeah, I think it's because I played more of Chronicles than I probably should have done back when it came out, and that really burned me out on it as a game. And so, yeah, now that I'm seeing it all again, I'm just like, yep, all those feelings of apathy are flooding back. And obviously that never helps when trying to do commentary, but I will fight through.
Thank you. That is on you completely, even if it is the game partially being to blame.
Well, didn't you, like, go out your way to get all the chow or some shit like that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't succeed.
What do you fucking expect? If you try to 100% a game, then, like, you're gonna get like that. That's the idea of 100%ing a game. It's if you enjoyed the main game, then you would go out your way to do the extra things. It's not like, I didn't like this game, but I'm gonna force my way to do the optional stuff anyway. Like, that kind of defeats the point.
The argument that I have against that is sort of the way that I tend to do with 100%ing games is if I'm most of the way there by the time I finish the game anyway, and it's not too difficult to do, then I'm quite willing to try it, because then it makes me feel like I've got my money's worth, even if I may not have entirely enjoyed the full experience. But yeah, I distinctly remember just missing one chow because of that bloody random chow thing. I was just like so annoyed.
You made the choice to do that side quest thing, mate, so let the burden of responsibility fail on you. Man, these birds are being slightly aggressive and whatnot, and I'm noticing the HP amount for the enemies jumping up quite a lot now.
Yeah, we're still beating it by a fair amount, other than Sonic, who's obviously taken a real fucking beating. It's like we're all ganging up on him.
Every time I tab back here, you know, obviously I'm checking Twitter during these battles, but only because these battles are really boring, I'm going to be quite honest with you. It's like he's flat on his arse. Like, come on, Sonic, you're meant to be able to dodge these attacks.
He probably would if I'd worked that out to hit the fucking things in already, but you know.
Well, again, higher attack power, better chance to hit. It's like in, let's say, Xenoblade Chronicles, a much, much, much better RPG for the Wii and new 3DS. If you're, like, too low leveled, you can't even touch higher leveled enemies, essentially.
You saying that, and I do 100% believe you, though it is just hitting me now how I dropped Xenoblade because I lost interest in it over time, but I beat this.
You and I are no longer friends.
Well, I mean, we got another 20 odd parts of this, so do you really want to have to put up with begrudging your way through?
Fine, we're friends again, just don't talk to me for a few minutes, talk to Richie.
Okay, Richie, so anyway, how about that Entom guy?
Oh, I know. I mean, he's a good friend and all, but like sometimes he makes me do these playthroughs like this one where I'm just like, why are you making me sit through this? But then I do it because I'm his friend and we do have fun together, so I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Sometimes he starts whining about a cool, bright, colourful racing game looking bland before we start recording, which puts me in the mindset to give him as much grief that evening as possible.
Wow, Sega shill much?
I am a shill because I think the game actually legitimately looks fun.
Yes, that is the info, and that is the logic that I am using here. Good night.
You fucking do that, and you go out your way to look like that fucking contrarian who no one likes.
Whatever. You know I'm not like that. It was not the physical look of the game that I find bland. I find the concept bland. I much preferred it when it was all the Sega All-Stars together, hence All-Stars Racing Transformed. Just going back to Sonic & Co. is regressive, and I don't really see how it's a benefit to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of thing that I would match that with is, I mean, obviously we haven't seen what's going to occur with Mario Kart 9, or whatever it is named, but I feel that that is an example where if they go back and don't have, say, Link and Isabelle and characters like that, it will feel like that's taken a step back from what it's reached, and that would be a shame because people like it when their games expand, not when they shrink. That's what annoys people a lot of the time with things.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on Smash Ultimate. Like some of the more, let's say, extraneous modes, like Home Run Smash, not being present. Weirdly, the music is in the game's like code and whatnot, because obviously at the time of recording it's been data mined, so...
Yeah.
Of course it has. Like, what were people expecting?
I mean, Nintendo shouldn't have shipped it 2 weeks early. I honestly don't know what they were expecting.
That's literally what happens. I mean, it just fascinates me, the divide between this and, let's face it, every fucking Sonic game gets leaked ahead of time. Like, everyone without fail, and people don't give a shit. Same thing with a bunch of other games, like the recent Pokemon Let's Go, that got leaked a little while early, and people were, a bit disheartened, but it wasn't that big a deal. But Smash, it's like they've committed a fucking murder, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that side of things is totally too extra, and people really need to rein it in a bit because, I mean, don't be ridiculous. And thank God you finally figured out how these work.
I'll fuck up again. Just you wait.
I'm sure you will, but at least you've roughly figured it out. But yeah, it's an odd one because for me, I tend to be on the side of I don't like to be spoiled if I haven't gone out in search of it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think a lot of the people fit that mould. But yeah, when you've got to be consistent in your opinions, so don't be not bothered about one type of game leaking if you're going to be super ardent, this game shouldn't leak, this is the worst thing in the world, because that's just being a little bit hypocritical, and also it's not being fair to either set of games, because it's effectively saying one game is on a pedestal that nothing can ever match, when in reality there are other games that probably can match it, and then you were saying other games are so unimportant that leaking them doesn't matter, but actually to the people who put all that effort into making that game, of course it matters. They want people to experience it at the same time rather than having it leaked like weeks before. So it's just be consistent in your opinions on leaking things.
It's
generally.
also worth noting that it's only called Smash Ultimate in the West, and that word alone conjures up a lot of strong feelings, like ultimate, the best, the final. So to have that leaked would probably stir stronger emotions in the community than most. I don't really think Sakurai deserves a huge apology for it. I think the people who did it, the shop owners, should at least apologise to Nintendo, even if it's just a written thing. Even that might be a bit too much, but I don't get why there's a big furore about him needing an official apology and so on. In Japan, it's just called Smash Bros. Special, essentially.
I think it's one of the things where, like, people are possibly putting a bit too much stock in how much it affects Sakurai as well. Because, like, he's probably disappointed. Like, obviously, it's his thing that he's worked on. And the same goes for the rest of the team who worked on it, obviously. But they're probably more annoyed at Nintendo for sending it out early than, like, you know, an individual person who's maybe uploaded a YouTube video or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, like, one thing where I will concede and say that, like, people should be more considerate than that is when you see videos go up that have a spoiler thing in the thumbnail. Not necessarily for Smash, but in general. Because that's the sort of thing where if you go out of your way to avoid it, you're still going to get spoiled by that because it's going to just show up in recommended whatever. So, like, that I get fair enough to get pissed at the people who do that. They should be more considerate of that and at least put some kind of warning before you see the spoiler.
Or, you know, just don't put it in the fucking thumbnail and then, like, cry innocent later on, not naming names, of course.
For stuff, yeah. But, yeah.
Right, for fuck's sake.
Fuck him, I love John, but, like, yeah, that's the sort of thing where it's like the guy's playing victim when it was him who caused the problem. So, yeah, I'll put him on blast all you like.
This is one of the tunes that I believe you said was acceptable, was it not, Flame? Like Battle Theme 3 or whatever?
I don't know which number is which, but the battle themes on the whole seem to be a lot more polished than the, like, overworld themes and whatnot.
Yes.
I think my favourite of the battle themes is the mini-boss theme that you see at various points. Like, I think it's mostly toward the end of chapters and that. That's quite a good one, and, like, just... The other one, which we missed and we were talking bollocks over at the start, but the opening cutscene theme is pretty good as well.
Yeah.
The guitar track's compressed to shit as well, which doesn't help it, but, you know, the song itself's fine.
I mean, I don't mind, you know, compressed guitars and whatnot, so long as it sounds good. I mean, you don't like the GBA sound chip. I think it sounds pretty good in, like, Pokemon and whatnot.
Well, that's because you're wrong and you have no taste, but, you know.
I mean, we've already established this, but it's not nice for you to pick on a poor guy with bad opinions, but, you know, it's a low blow.
Are you really at this level of trying to get me off your back now?
Yes, pretty much.
So, yeah.
I am sick of flying birds at this point. I have nothing else to say about these fuckers. They are just killing everyone.
They are, but, like, again, we didn't really address it, but I've got that angel equip thing here, which is what causes me to get that extra revive in each battle. Because if you've got that attached to your characters, which I think I have one on everyone here, I might be wrong about that, but what it means is that you get one free turn where instead of just being written out and you having to use a heal item, they'll just stand back up with 1 health, so you can get another hit in.
I see. Is that a consumable or an equipable?
It's an equipable, so you can just keep it on there, and I end up buying them for, like, all of my characters, and even though it's, like, an early game item, I keep it on there right till the end.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
One thing I will say about the combat is, when you're deciding the order of turns, if you need to heal or revive someone, make sure that's your first action, especially as Sonic, because if you get interrupted, you will not be able to play, like, out all your turn. Like, if you die, I mean, obviously, there's no, like, oh, you can just interrupt the character and, you know, the whole thing falls apart. But you just have to be careful, because if you don't prepare accordingly, you will get fucked accordingly.
Indeed.
It's also kind of annoying how if you need to either heal someone or use an item to restore their PP or whatever, that doesn't actually kick in until the turn itself, which means that character can't do anything until the round after. So you can get in a position where if you're not properly equipped, where you'll just heal a guy, but he gets killed before it works, and so you can't get any use of it.
I feel like items should have been instantaneous, like having items dictated by the speed stat or whatever was a bad idea.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, because it counts as a turn, basically, just like an attack would, so yeah.
Knuckles looks strangely adorable in his model, in contrast to Shadow being like Big Boy's first intimidating pose.
Shadow in this game, in his overworld model, well, like in his battle over model, he's basically got that look of like a 10-year-old who's learnt his first swear word.
Ah, damn. Yes, delightful.
It's like he's just learned how to be a big boy now. That is literally him.
It so is, Shadow. Bless. When are we going to get that fucking chow?
What one? Oh, the healing one.
Yes!
Maybe next chapter, I think, maybe. I can't remember.
Oh, but Cream isn't optimal yet. You don't have the best build and whatnot. No, we've got to walk all the way back to Dr. Madden. Football!
We get it. You're butthurt because I'm taking my time here.
Yes, I am. The less time I have to spend in Sonic Chronicles is the more time I can just be staring at the wall and contemplating the endless doom of nothingness.
It's really not that bad. I don't get why you guys have such a hate boner for it.
Because it's funny, Flame. Sometimes it's funny and I'm exaggerating.
But you're not funny. You sound like a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, well, that's you on a daily basis in your base default tone, so shut the fuck up already.
No, my base default tone is guy who sounds like he has no emotion whatsoever. That's not whiny bitch.
Well... True, you could never actually reach the tone of whiny. You wish to be whiny, but you will never, ever reach whiny.
No, whiny would be me voluntarily raising the pitch of my voice. My voice going high just happens.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Who's controlling it? Yeah. Oh, so the other guys are clocking onto the fact that these marauders are about and causing problems. That's good to know. We're not the only ones trying to take them down.
That would be a bit jarring if it was only us who noticed the events. They wouldn't be having much impact on the world, these villains.
Oh yeah, they would be pretty useless. I mean, one of the things... Well, it's a bit of an awkward thing that the game does is its villains, but they do come across as being at least somewhat threatening, which is quite helpful.
Oh, look where it interrupted me to give me the prompt. I literally could not get away from that battle.
Well, at least you cut it out. Alright, what's next, Flame? These fucking generic sound effects are kind of getting on my tits, I'm gonna be honest.
Again, it's not that bad.
It's not in a vacuum. When you do 6 parts back to back, yes, it becomes a little grating. And I know you guys will only be watching these like 1, maybe 2 max a day, but still.
Well, to be fair, people watching the video with us talking, the sound effects aren't going to be the annoying noise they're getting there.
Exquisite.
It's true.
I'm
just trying to clean up here before I get to the thing, and fuck that robot.
It's fine. No, I was just thinking, Brain Scratch is doing a rerun of or a remake of their SA1 playthrough, and apparently, I think it was Ryan, changed out the script for Sonic, so it's like the notorious ass who refers to himself as an ape or something. The DK64 rap, like, done in polite tones, but for Sonic's dialogue. And,
oh god.
I was actually taking my own hand at that, if you don't mind me patting myself on the back here. I'm scrolling down, I'm trying to find it, because it was funny, it makes me laugh, okay?
Tom can pat himself on the back for stealing someone else's joke and doing it in a less funny way.
Hell yeah, that's how the fuck HFC gets down. God, I've been tweeting a lot lately, it's kind of hard to find.
Glad I'm not like that.
Well, I ain't saying nothing, but I think we found a beep location.
Yes, we have. Look at that Eggman robot.
Swapbots can't be sad, Flame.
This one is.
Well, maybe he's just faking it. Maybe Eggman programmed him with depression.
No, they just made his face constantly look sad the whole time, so you feel sorry for the robot. That's one of the animations for the badniks in, I think it's either Colours or Gens, isn't it? When you attack them, they get a frame of looking sad before they die.
Yeah, basically. Oh, I found it. This is happening from SA1 turns into, exquisite. This is proceeding in a manner that I find quite enjoyable.
Congratulations.
And, what's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you? Turns into hold fast, friend. Mayhaps is there something around your person that you find vexing?
One perish to the echidna. Right?
Knock knock. It is the echidna known formerly as Knuckles.
If he's known formerly as Knuckles, what's his name now? Has he got like some symbol like fucking Prince said?
Look, I didn't think this joke out, okay? We don't need to dwell on it. Let's just dwell on you, going through the game aimlessly, doing missions that will amount to nothing in the end, because the game already gives you enough EXP to get by.
Are you running out of jokes to steal from French Scratch now then? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what's happening. But we're not quite done yet. We're slowly zeroing in on what may or may not be Eggman, but Flame just needs to do a little pirouette around the table in the base first. And let's see, we're taking Amy, we're taking Cream, and Big, not Knuckles, surprisingly.
I can't remember what my logic was here.
I don't think you had any to begin with, so we'll see you next time.